Quite a few of you guys have been asking us to make a video on the real differences between the iPhone 11 and the 11 Pro, so here it is, as well as the question of which of these premium iPhones you should buy. The answer actually boils down to something very simple. I'll explain in just a bit. If you're a fan of colors, you get a lot more options on the iPhone 11, while the 11 Pro is a bit more limited, but the new midnight green color is much nicer than I expected. On the back, they get a new unique square bump that's machined out of a single sheet of glass, with the 11 getting 2 circular camera bumps, while the 11 Pro gets a nicely arranged 3 bumps that in my opinion, scream premium. More on those cameras in just a minute. The matte glass back looks really nice on the 11 Pro, while the 11 gets a glossy back with matte on the square bump. I personally love the smooth finish on the 11 Pro's matte glass, which is also very fingerprint and microscratch resistant, but others may not like how slippery it is, and they may prefer the iPhone 11 for the extra grip in the hand. The 11 Pro also has a glossy stainless steel frame, which feels very grippy and premium, but it's more susceptible to micro scratches, while the regular 11 has an aluminum frame that Apple's been using since the iPhone 6. But if you like to use a case with your iPhone, the difference in feel won't matter. With last year's iPhones, the XR was noticeably thicker than the XS, but this year, the 11 Pro got a bit thicker, so you won't really notice a big difference in your hand like you did last year. The 11 Pro comes in 2 sizes, 5.8 inches, which I personally feel is too small, and 6.5 inches, which is nice for the large display, but a bit uncomfortable to hold in your hand. So in my opinion, the 6.1 inch size of the iPhone 11 is actually the perfect middle ground, offering a large display while feeling perfect in the hand. The iPhone 11 features the exact same LCD display from last year's XR, with less than 1080p resolution, which is a bummer, but you can't really tell with regular use unless you pixel peep or watch a very high quality video. It's got the same True Tone technology and excellent color accuracy with P3 wide color gamut. The iPhone 11 Pro's display has a much higher resolution, a much better contrast ratio thanks to it being an OLED display, and it got even brighter this year. The main difference is that you can't watch high quality HDR content on the regular 11, and you'll have more trouble seeing the display when you're outside in broad daylight. The benefit of the iPhone 11 Pro's OLED display is that using dark mode or a darker wallpaper will actually save battery life because the individual pixels emit their own light and can actually turn off completely when displaying black. One of the biggest downsides with last year's iPhone XR was that it didn't get 3D touch like on the XS, but this year, even the 11 Pro doesn't get it anymore. Now the one display difference that matters the most to me is that the display bezels on the 11 are noticeably larger than the ones on the 11 Pro, which already seem large compared to other phones like the Note 10 Plus. So with all the visible differences out of the way, let's get into feature differences. Something new this year is that the iPhone 11 Pro actually comes with an 18-watt fast charger in the box, instead of the super old and slow 5-watt charger with the iPhone 11. Now if the slow 5-watt charger is keeping you from buying the 11, it shouldn't. It actually supports the same exact fast charging speed as the 11 Pro. You just have to buy the fast charger separately, which unfortunately is about $30 from Apple. Thankfully, you can buy a charger with the same exact 18 watts of fast charging speed for only $16 right now on Amazon. We'll drop a link down in the description below. Now if I could explain the iPhone 11 Pro and the Pro Max in just 2 words, they would be battery life. My 11 Pro Max is the first phone I've ever had where I can do literally anything on my phone and no longer have to even think about battery life. It's so great that I've actually stopped checking it throughout the day. Now the battery life on the 11 isn't as good, but it's still rated for an extra hour over the XR, which already had better battery life than last year's iPhone XS Max, so it's still pretty great. The iPhone 11 Pro also gets better water resistance, lasting 30 minutes in up to 13 feet of water, which is more than the deepest point of a regular swimming pool, while the 11 lasts the same 30 minutes in up to 6.5 feet of water. Other than all of that, and a couple of small differences in the cameras, which I'll mention in just a moment, everything else is basically the same. You get the same A13 Bionic chip, which is the fastest processor on any smartphone, and you even get the same 4GB of RAM, whereas last year's XR only got 3GB. You get the same Face ID system, the same U1 location chip, the same spatial audio speakers with Dolby Atmos support, the same Wi-Fi 6 and gigabit LTE speed, the same dual SIM support, and the same wireless charging speed. And now for the cameras, you get the same exact wide and ultra-wide lenses. The photos and videos coming out of these 2 phones are literally identical, with the same video recording features, the same crazy good video stabilization, night mode, 2nd Gen Smart HDR, and basically every other feature available on the 11 Pro. However, the one thing the Pro has is the telephoto lens, and is good for a couple of things. The first is being able to zoom in more for photos and videos, and second, you can take more realistic close-up portrait photos. If you try a close-up portrait on the iPhone 11's wide lens, it greatly distorts the shape of the face, so you have to take a step back, snap the photo, and then crop into it in post to get a close-up, which can reduce quality. And that's basically the only difference in the cameras. So if you're still trying to figure out if you should buy the iPhone 11 or the iPhone 11 Pro, I'll make it really simple for you. If you're coming from a premium smartphone that packs a high-quality OLED display, like the iPhone 10, you should probably go for the 11 Pro or 11 Pro Max, because you'll probably notice the lack of contrast on the iPhone 11's LCD display, as well as the thicker bezels. But if you're coming from an older LCD packing phone with large top and bottom bezels like the iPhone 6, 7, or 8, then you should go with the iPhone 11 and spend the extra $300 to $400 difference on something else, like a $16 fast charger by using the link down below. If you enjoy this comparison, make sure to tap that like button and click the circle above to subscribe. Check out some of those videos right there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.